Hi, I'm Allie Scarlett. I hope you're doing as tremendously as possible. Um, I'm a transgender woman, so I want to talk about this idea that, like, an idea that J.K. Rowling criticizes, which is like a new approach um, to gender identity. You know, because it's in the past, it's always been about um, like the person's like I just like a woman, like a female and a male body, or vice versa. And that is what I believe about myself. Um, that's what I know about myself. However, this an idea that a young woman would medically transition because they want to avoid abuse. You know, males are stronger. You know, also meaner on the typical guy. Also more sexual typical guy. So a young woman is and any woman is privy to, is at risk every day to an extent, at least, um, for like sexual assault or at least sexual harassment and then physical assault and such. So, and shelters exist and things because this is such a common thing. So, if a young woman wants to avoid these things, I suppose whether or not even when they've had something happen or more than one thing happen, um, and they want to make it better, like, okay, so if they want to avoid that, I don't, I'm not saying I'm a favor, but I don't oppose it. Um, and then additionally, if a young woman or a woman, like, either intentionally or as a unintended consequence, like, becomes like a nurturing dude because she's a woman that has feminine qualities, and then like is like a dude though because of hormones, if you will. Like, how's that a bad thing? Doesn't that make manhood better? Like the so, and I say in this case because I'm not saying like a transgender man's a woman. What I'm saying is if someone were to medically transition only to avoid abuse, and intentionally or unintentionally become a good man because they have natural good qualities, good communication, also besides nurturing, then in that case it wouldn't be because they're like, oh, I have like a female soul or whatever, like I say, and others, but because they it would be for a different reason, but that would result in like that would improve the male race though. you know you'd have less women at risk of being victims and more men who aren't going to do anything. Thanks for watching.